and it is one of those where I still think you can, without the Punishing Fire loop, I think you can grind out Punishing Jund just because you have, 3-4 Snapcaster Mages, 3-4 Baleful Strix. Leovold is okay. Without the Punishing Fire, he dies to everything and draws a card, but
So how important is Deathrite on Mitch's side of the table then? Because like that eats a Punishing Fire, right? Like if you can just force the first one or whatever, you can eat it with Deathrite Shaman. Mitch here with a turn 1 Ponder.
I mean, I think Deathrite's important in, these kind of Deathrite mirrors just on the sake of its own. I don't really think against the Punishing Fire combo itself. I mean,
Mitch, you can see leaving his Ponder, drawing a him
because they don't have it every game. I mean, this game will go on a long time, so I'm sure he might have it. But
so for those that don't know, you want to go ahead and talk about the Jund deck list. I know you're quite familiar, but Jund is not an archetype that you see in Legacy very much anymore, and so our players at home may not know. Like there's Dark Confidant. It's been a while since you've seen that in the main deck.
Dark Confidant. This is a removal check if I've seen one, and I don't think Mitch has the removal spell.
Yeah, Mitch was interested in Hymn to Torok.
A Hymn to Torok is a 2-for-1, but Bob doesn't care if you eat their hand out. He'll just draw more cards.
You see Mitch go ahead and firing off that Hymn to Torok.
So as good as a turn to him is, if I'm John Anderson, I'm 100% in on somebody hymning me on turn 2 if I have a Dark Confidant on the table.
That seems very reasonable. I mean, you get to make it back up by just having Dark Confidant. So you see Punishing Jund does play Grove, which works with Punishing Fire. Traditionally, you see that mostly in lands.
Yeah, it's very similar. If you played a decent amount of Modern, you probably have seen Jund over the years. It's not a super popular deck now,
right?
But over the years, you've seen it in this Hymn to Torok, looking pretty solid with the discard punishing
fire with a Grove on the table. Oh my gosh!
So now, if you're John Anderson with a third land, he could fetch a Black Source him and get by the Punishing Fire all in this turn.
It seems like an excellent turn.
Attack with Dark Confidant. Hope Mitch doesn't have a Liliana Last Hope or Liliana the Veil, which he doesn't actually play. Yeah, those would be very good on this turn 3.
Looks like Mitch does play a Liliana. However, it is Liliana the Last Hope in the main deck. Once again,
which is very good against Dark Confidant in particular.
That's true. It's true. It would look quite good here against Dark Confidant.
Yeah.
But then would just get shot down with this Punishing Fire eventually.
Yeah. So, same with the Veil. The Planeswalkers, once this Punishing Fire combo is on,
and that's
good.
Truly the power of Punishing Jund is that it's a fair deck that Planeswalkers just don't beat.
And that's something you don't.
We see Mitch.
Although Mitch does now have a Fatal Push, so that's gonna.
I think Mitch is very interested in snapping that off. We see the return Punishing Fire here, putting Mitch up to I believe 20 again.
Yeah, these players
players are both at 17.
Blistering.
I mean, they're going to need to play fast if they want to be able to finish their match in time. This is not exactly going to be quick. Wow.
Yeah, we saw that earlier.
Sylvan Library on the side of John Anderson. One of the better cards in fair matchups.
There's a Punishing Fire.
Is Mitch interested in snapping this Ponder here? It looks like he is.
He doesn't actually. I don't think he actually can.
Yeah, this is 2 undergrounds, right?
No, that's.
Those are basics. Oh my gosh.
Mitch's mana base is
absolutely
kind of screwing him right here. He can't even play Leovold.
Now, if you're John Anderson, how much do you like just taking 8 here?
I mean, unless it's like bad and you have fetch land, I take 8 all the time. First time.
I mean, playing Miracles with Source of Flushes,
he didn't take any.
Oh my gosh! Another Grove into Liliana. This is looking pretty rough for Mitch Stevenson.
Oh my goodness! This game.
I mean, here you see John doing what John does, like
over already.
Dark Confidant.
I don't even know what spells, he discarded.
He discarded Leovold, the uncast.
No, I meant John.
He discarded the Punishing Fire.
Oh. You can Polygon's Command.
I like this. This is like, if you're going to come back, this is one of the chances to do so. Mitch bringing back Leovold, the only creature in his graveyard.
I actually, because of that Snapcaster.
19 here after 2 Punishing Fire activations.
Because of that Snapcaster, if I was John, I would have. This is where the library, if he wasn't going to fetch away, he should have just taken an extra card that was bad, pitched it, left the Punishing Fire in his hand in case his opponent did have an end-of-turn Snapcaster.
Well, ultimately, like you said, it seems like if John knows
it doesn't matter.
Punishing Fire Loop is the name of the game in this matchup.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And
it doesn't matter very much, but...
Like, John Anderson's looking at 2 Badlands, which are 2 non-Grove red sources, and 2 Groves. Like, this is looking like John, for being turn 5 or 6, is like as set up as you can be for this matchup.
Yeah. Even if this Leovold hits the table, it's just not worth...
We may see another Liliana here. Oh my gosh. Being able to sack Snapcaster Mage, you get to leave up. Punishing Fire.
He may just want to rebuy this Punishing Fire now.
Oh, he chooses to tick up.
Yeah.
I think he is interested in doing exactly what you're saying. Rebuy Punishing Fire. Go ahead and try to kill the Snapcaster.
I don't know why you would do that.
Wait till he untaps.
Yeah, I would just.
Well, I kind of want to tap his mana on his turn. Like if he wants to do something about it, he needs to do it on his turn. I like that a lot. I actually really like John doing that.
Oh, I guess Mitch isn't on the counterspell version, and you know that. So
yeah,
the only thing he can do is Force a Will.
So Mitch does. Yeah, Mitch has hymns, like one Lightning Bolt, which is kind of janky. I don't know if they always do
what?
Diabolic Edict, Toxic Deluge.
You usually see 1 or 2 Lightning Bolts, and that's
cute.
This is. Yeah.
So here you see the traditional Leovold versus, I guess, a Liliana. I mean, an easy sack seems like to me.
I mean, oddly enough, if you can.
Oh, here comes a Bloodbraid Elf.
Ooh.
Michael's
And it's
excited.
probably set up.
Oof,
That wasn't actually that good.
And a Lightning Bolt to go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't actually want to make him sack if I can't help it. Like,
you just want to keep ticking it up and get to an ult?
Well, no, I don't want him to be able to call God's
John,
command.
Being at 9,
I don't think he's at 9. He hasn't paid whatever. I don't think he's at 9. I don't think that's right. Mitch is going to concede.
Mitch, go ahead and pick it up. He knows he's not beating this Punishing Fire loop with all these other cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at the sideboard. Punishing John making quick work of check pile. Ooh. All right. You want to go on the John side first?
Well, so we got 2 Pyroblast, 2 Duress, a Pithing Needle, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Golgari Charm, 1 Invisible GT, 1 Ancient Grudge, 1 Life from the Loam, 2 Diabolic Edict, 1 Toxic Deluge. If I'm John, I mean, the Deluge is pretty great if you fall behind. It's one of the best ways to come back. The Diabolic Edicts can catch Gurmag Angler, whereas nothing else can, and that card's really important. But it can also catch like a Baleful Strix, or a Snapcaster. So, there's merits to that card. There's not. Life from the Loam, you could try to Loam Wasteland over and over.
Loam. No, I like Loam because it gets you closer to the fires and the groves. Like, you can return groves with the Loam itself. You're much more likely to hit fires. And if that's the name of the game in this matchup, like you mentioned earlier, I'm very interested in Loam.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't board it in because, like, Mitch doesn't have any ways to attack your Grove of the Burn Willows. And you only have 3 Wasteland. I don't.
It's more of like getting closer to it. You get more looks at it, right? You get 3 looks at it.
I think post-board, if Mitch knows what he's doing, it's going to be a little less reliable. And it is kind of the name of the game, but without it, you can still. I mean, you still have like Dark Confidant if it goes unchecked. Sure. Liliana's still good. Bloodbraid's still good. I mean, you can still play with Mitch without it. So there's merits to bringing it in. Ancient Grudge can kill Baleful Strix, but 2 Baleful Strix.
Yeah, I'm not sure Baleful Strix is what you care about
here
in this matchup.
GT's risky against a high removal spell.
Colligon's Command deck.
Colligon's Command, heavy removal spell. It's only really good when you're ahead. Like, most of your creatures, if you're throwing it on, like, a Dark Confidant, you're winning the game already.
Right.
Golgari Charm can kill X1s. It can blank a removal spell, but there's
not really any enchantments you want to hit.
Yeah, it can be risky.
Right.
Like, catching kill spells is a little ambitious because Mitch is usually just going to play them on curve. Surgical doesn't really do anything. I mean, could hit, like, Snapcaster targets, but that's not good. The Pyroblasts are great against, like, Leovold, Baleful Strix, Jace. Probably has to stay in Mitch's deck. They're also good against, like, Keranos out of the sideboard. Speaking of which...
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look. We've gotten a little bit of a hint from you here. Let's take a look at Mitch's sideboard. We got 2 Flusherstorm, 2 Surgical Extraction, 1 Pyroblast, 1 Red Elemental Blast, 1 Keranos, God of Storms, 1 Diabolic Edict, 2 Hymn to Torok, 1 Martial Casualties, 1 Nihil Spellbomb, 1 Ancient Grudge, 1 Painful Truce, 1 Thoughtseize. So, on Mitch's side, I think that's pretty evident that your best card in your sideboard is Keranos, God of Storms. If you ever played that card in Modern against John, it's quite a hard one to beat. If you can cast it, the game is probably over. So you're looking at definitely the Keranos. I think I want that card. I want, as you said, the 2 Surgicals and the Nihil Spellbomb. You really want to be able to interact with this. Like we were talking about the name of the game, the Punishing Fires. You want to go Surgical those, Nihil Spellbomb, and if you can catch it, all those. I'm definitely interested in that. I think I'm very interested in the Painful Truce as well. Being able
Oh
to
yeah,
3
the
mana draw
painful
3
truce is
seems
great.
incredible against the Jund deck trying to pressure your hand.
I think the Edict is also
You like
something.
Edict?
Yeah, I've noticed that like between the two bolts and the two pushes, like if John is gonna leave in, I don't know how many he wants, but if he's gonna leave in some discard spells, a discarded spell into Dark Confidant.
Yeah, I like it on the play. On the draw, I don't like it as much because you can't catch a turn 2 Confidant.
Yeah.
But I do like
Well,
it on
you
the play.
can't. You can still catch a turn two Confidant with a two
With a
drop.
death right. That's right.
No,
No, you still
no,
can't.
you can still. No, you still catch it.
How do you still?
It's just you just he plays turn two Dark Confidant.
Oh,
And
that's
you
right. You
play
can
your
still
land,
catch it.
and then
For some reason, I thought it worked like Silverguild up there from where it just draws
no,
a
it's
card.
just like a. It's just like a.
Super crazy, super crazy. So yeah, okay, so maybe yeah, the Edict's good. So I definitely like Edict,
Yeah, it's
Keranos,
fine.
and the Graveyard Hate spells, 2 Surgicals and the Hill Spellbomb.
The forces and the blast aren't like you could see hymns coming in because they're better than Force of Wills,
You
but
think,
I
yeah,
don't
they're much better than Force of
usually
Will.
like them.
Well, I think he already has enough cuts. You get to cut the Pyroblast that he has in Mitch's main deck. Mitch did metagame play a Pyroblast in the main deck.
It's not very good here.
Very bad here. Very good against Czech and
Could
and
fuel.
Delver, which is a lot of the metagame. So yeah, I definitely like cutting Blast. I actually like cutting both Jaces. I don't. I think committing 4 mana to a card that just gets mowed down is
I
not
think-
worth your time.
I think in this one, oddly enough, like Miracles, Jund has enough. Like when you're playing against Miracles, you're gonna have enough cards in your hand and whatnot. When the Jace comes down, you're like well prepared for it. But I think this is more of a tap out style game. I think there are actually games where Jace can run away with the game more than there would be against like Miracles, for example. Especially if you have some number of the hymns in your deck.
The wax says hello from Sweden. Hello, it's pretty far from Huntsville, Alabama, and
Yeah.
there is definitely Legacy John. I mean, it's on camera right now.
By the way, we're seeing a turn to him, a brainstorm, and there's a lot of action going on in this
Oh,
turn. We have a
no
turn to
kidding.
him to Torok, protecting with a Pyroblast. I was thinking that was a little suspicious how he, used the Death right there.
And wow, that looks like the Pyroblast is resolving. Still on
On
the
the
table,
brain,
but I
yeah.
believe it has resolved. And him to Turok gonna go ahead and take 2 cards. Do you like him to Turok in this matchup? Do you like on either side? Do you like him to Turok? Traditionally, in fair matchups, you take out discard, right? Because it's a bad top
Yeah,
deck. But
if in John Anderson's seat, you have 4 Thoughtseize, 3 him to Torok.
and you just don't think you have enough to bring
don't
in.
know if you have enough that's like really good enough, and him in the early game is a 2-for-1 like you saw there. So
Right.
I think it's a little better than Thoughtseize,
Sure.
even on the draw.
I like it a little, I think, better in the punishing Jun side because Mitch does play counterspell sometimes. He does sometimes play things like, what's it called? Colligon's commands. So some things you may want to hold on to a little bit
Yeah.
longer. And
He does have more. He has
Right.
more outs though. Mitch does, or sorry, Mitch has more ins and more outs.
right. So you think Mitch just
Ooh.
gets better post board anyway? Oh wow, Bloodbraid and the Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf not as good maybe in the face of Nihil Spellbomb, but still quite good.
I mean,
Definitely a live
still
hit.
he's probably still going to be like a, close to a
At the
4-5
end
ish
of the
either
day, the
way.
Bloodbraid was still a 2-for-1 here. I mean, you're looking at 2 bodies, one of which is a hasty attacker on the table for 4 mana.
You saw that deluge, by the way, pitched from the him to Torok.
Right.
And this is one of those situations where deluge seems like when you're ahead it's bad, but when you are behind,
It
just
seems
imagine,
incredible here, yeah. I mean,
taking
if
out.
Mitch has the Snapcaster here and a land, it would still be great because you just cast Snapcaster and
Yeah,
snap
you
the
put
Deluge.
both players back at parity. Of course, John's up 2 cards though, so it's more just like an evil necessity that he
There's
would
the
have
land.
to
Do
do.
we have the Snapcaster? The fetch seems to indicate so. Looks like we do. So we're going to see exactly what we're saying. A Snap Deluge.
Actually, he's going for the command.
Oh, Colligon's command. Wow. Make John discard, kill your Deathrite? Is that what's
I
happening
think
here?
so. I think John discarded a forest.
I'm not sure I like that. I think I like
Yeah.
Snapping Deluge a little bit more.
Punishing John doesn't have any like card selection, so they sometimes have enough cards to pitch to the discard of.
Well, yeah, and you're going to be holding cards to pitch to your Lilianas as well, correct?
Yeah, possibly. So it's very unlikely that the discard matters enough. I think I would have preferred deluging there.
Right.
This could be like a library. Not sure why he played it off the Grove of the Burnwills, giving Mitch a free life for no reason. But
Oh my gosh, another
okay,
Tarmogoyf.
well, I guess it just doesn't.
Now I definitely like the Deluge.
Yeah. Well, if
Wow,
we
and a
draw,
library. Oh, the haymakers. And there's that hymn to Torque it looks like Mitch still has in his deck. Not a terribly good top deck here. I think
but
that's a
it's
hymn to
something you
Torque.
probably need to have.
I mean,
There's
yeah,
so
you
many
each have
bad
so many
cards in your
worse cards,
main.
right? But like, I'm just saying, we
Yeah.
see hymns on both sides, and that's it's interesting to me that there's discard on both
Yeah,
sides
in
of the decks.
modern, it seems like in Legacy you have so many of your sideboard that has to be
Oh my
dedicated.
gosh! And there's the punishing fire. Go ahead and clear the way for all these Tarmogoyfs and Bloodbraids to go ahead and
Yeah.
crash on in. I mean, this is kind of what we talked about before. Like, this is looking pretty ugly. I'm sorry, that's a Diabolic Edict, not a Hymn to Torok in Mitch's hand. But we're seeing this punishing fire just being looped. All these Tarmogoyfs crashing in.
One of the things that I do like here is you do see the Diabolic Edict. I was going to mention, like, almost every card is worth a lot to
Looks
Edict,
like Mitch is now at
other
4.
than the Bloodbraid. Yes. I mean, they can chump with Snap and a Death Right, but
You have to jump with 2. Oh, it looks like there's a bolt. So just
this
return
game's
punishing
just
fire plus
over.
punishing fire and lightning bolt should go ahead and seal it on up. You can direct those straight to face. Actually, you don't even
Yeah.
have to clear these creatures. You can attack, and then if he goes to gain life with Deathrite, you can go ahead and clear him out of the way. It looks like Mitch is a little. I mean, John is a little more interested in just clearing the
Well,
creatures out of the way and
you
just
can't. He can
guaranteeing.
gain a life with one of these Death Rights.
No, he can't. He only has 1 green source, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He can do it with one.
Well, you respond with the burn spells. So you attack on out, and then as soon as he goes to gain life, you just go ahead and
Oh.
you go ahead and fire off the burn spells.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks like, I mean, truthfully, it probably doesn't matter. It's just a,
Yeah, I don't know
think
how Mitch gets back
it's
from here.
definitely lethal. Let's go ahead and get.
Yeah.
Let's see. Looks like Mitch had to go ahead and
This
double
game
chump
is-
block. This card's got to be great. How about Tropical Island? Not quite what the doctor ordered. We're going to see
Jeez, that was
Punishing John just take it
murderous.
2-0 versus Mitch Stevenson on check
Holy
pile.
cow.
I mean, and this really speaks to like how good of a metagame call Punishing John was for this tournament. All these fair decks like check pile, they have a hard time keeping up with what Punishing John's doing.